orders.
On January 2nd, 2015, adequate notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been furnished by inclusion thereof in the annual schedule of meetings for 2015, which has been posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall, filed with Borough Clerk, faxed to the Hour Town Record, and the community news newspapers and distributed all persons if any requesting copies the same pursuant to said act. In case of an emergency or fire alarm, you must evacuate the building by using any of the exit doors in the room. They're immediately to my right, and the double doors at the rear of the room. Occupants must exit the building by using the staircase and not the elevator. This meeting is being recorded by both video and audio and may be rebroadcast.
The invocation by Reverend Noel Gordon of the Zimmer Life Center.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, we thank you for bringing us together here this evening to discuss the business of the Maywood community. I'm asking that your wisdom will prevail. We pray that you would bless the proceedings here today. We ask that you bless this community with peace and prosperity. Bless our leaders with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We thank you in your wonderful name. Amen.
Everyone please salute the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Fabret.
Here.
Council members: Trevino,
Here.
Zahir is absent. Eisenberg,
Here.
Messer is absent. Lindenau,
Here.
Maroney,
Here.
Borough Attorney Ronald Berrio,
Here.
Borough Administrator Roberta Stern,
Here.
Borough Clerk Jean Pellegrin is here.
At this point, I would ask for a motion to go out of the regular order of business for the purposes of adopting the budget. Is there a motion? Yes, make a motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Trevino,
Yes.
Eisenberg,
Yes.
Lindenau,
Yes.
Maroney.
Yes. I just want to say, just the reason why we're doing that, I want to extend my sincerest thanks to Councilman Eisenberg, who about less than an hour ago, I got a call from him saying that he might not be able to make it because we just got home from work, and he was packing and leaving to go look at colleges in Florida with his son. I informed him that we had two other people that were not here, and that we would not have a quorum to vote the budget. And so what he did was he got here. So you have my thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
We do resolution number 8515, the reading of 2015 municipal budget by title.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Trevino,
Yes.
Zahir, Eisenberg,
Yes.
Lindenau,
Yes.
Maroney.
Yes. All right, at this point, I'd like to open the meeting to the public for anyone who has any comments or questions regarding the 2015 municipal budget. Please.
Thank you. John Brown, 41 Stelling Avenue. Just a few questions from 2 weeks ago. I just want to, I know I got some of the, I get about 40 answers and one I figured out myself. The BCUA service charges on sheet 20, line 31, they've gone up. Was that because of rates or because of flow?
Chuck.
Yeah, we wait.
The BCUA rates are calculated based upon their budget, and then they're allocated based on flow. There's no rate that gets increased. The rate changes every year based upon the budget.
But it's also based upon our flow, right?
The allocation is based on your flow.
Okay, so was this because our flow was more, or is it because
Well,
of...
two pieces. Their budget went up, and your allocation
Okay.
was your allocation.
Okay. The reserve for uncollectible taxes on sheet 29, line, this is line M. It went up from $550,000 to $700,000. And the question I have is, and I know I've argued the other way. In bad times, you argued to raise your reserve for taxes, for uncollected taxes. In this case, we're coming into a better economy. So the question is, why did we raise?
You got your policy back up. You raise it in good times. Don't raise it in bad times. When taxes are low, you raise it and hold the reserve. That's exactly what we're doing.
But in bad times, you figure you're going to have...
You have the reserve, and then you can respond to the issue of not having...
Right, so therefore...
So you want to raise it now. Because it doesn't have the tax impact it would have if you were raising taxes.
Okay, that's one side of it, but in order to protect yourself from uncollectible taxes, when you have bad times, when people are defaulting, that's when you would need the money. That's when you need the reserve.
But if you wait until that point in time, then you would have to raise it substantially, and it would have a bigger impact on taxes. That's why you don't do it that way. Because you're looking at it from a one-year point of view.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and you know, we've been here over 100 years now, and I expect we're going to be here for another 100 years.
All right. The fuel and gas on page 22. I know we have a contract with Rochelle Park. The question is the contract such that the raw material costs or savings on costs aren't passed along? In other words, we all know, everybody in this room knows that our gas prices are less than they were a year ago. They're approximately 25 to 35% less. And yet, we have the same number in there from last year to this year. The question is do they not pass along their savings? Or?
It has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Budget based upon a level of expectation of what might happen. So,
Okay.
so in order, if you're looking at it and saying, okay, because gas prices went down,
Yeah.
we're volatile, we should reduce the budget. It's not a good budgeting tactic. Once we have a level that we operate at, if gas prices go up, we're going to be able to respond to it, and it wouldn't affect the tax rate.
I can recall sitting here many times when it was the opposite, and I got the opposite argument, but that, as it may be. Just for clarification, we've heard about a $2 million surplus. Can you point me in the direction of where I can either calculate that $2 million, or is that, the only place I could see that happening is on sheet 4, line 1, where the surplus for 2015 is 1.184.
You want to see where the...
Yeah, is it in there or not?
Yes. It's on page 39.
39? Okay. I couldn't find, I thought maybe you added the two pieces.
No.
Okay.
It's on page 39 of the calculation.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Anyone else wishing to carry? Please.
I beg your pardon?
We'll be opening the meeting to the public after again, but this is just on the budget.
Oh, this is only on the budget?
Yes, sir.
Oh, don't and what? Well, then, I do have a question on the budget, and it'll actually bleed over a little bit to my other comment. On 8715, which specifies the garbage, you're going to have to bid on garbage. And I'll discuss that later, but with that in mind, have you made any accommodations in the budget to protect the borough for higher sanitation prices in the budget? Because quite frankly, I'm very familiar with the deal with Hackensack. I actually arranged it initially, but they're going out. A municipality very close to us went out to bid, and his prices were doubled from his previous contract, doubled. Okay, so have you made accommodations in the budget for that?
No. I believe we have sufficient cushion in case we have to go to commercial carriers.
Cushion on the line, in the line?
Mr. Richards, you know that sometimes they're not on.
Well, I mean, you knew that this information on this particular situation was well known to the community. I mean, I knew about it in January. I hope you guys knew about it back then, too. There was no public discussion on it. So if it was known that far back, I don't understand why you wouldn't have discussed maybe putting it in the line item. That's all.
Well, if I may, Mayor, you can't put it in the line item because the line item is a shared service line item. And you can't inflate the shared service line item. back in the day.
back in the day. Well, be that as it may, when this happens, what are you going to do? Use reserve or what?
We anticipate that we'll be able to transfer.
You're going to transfer early or?
Can't transfer.
I understand that, but if the dollars are as high as they are in other communities, I think you work at one of them.
I think we have to wait and see what the point.
Well, I think you should be prepared, and I don't understand why there was no discussion on that particular issue earlier in the year.
We don't discuss contract negotiations.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, that's not contract negotiations.
It absolutely is.
Excuse me.
Absolutely.
Excuse me.
Mr. Mayor, we've been having...
Excuse me, but this is the public portion.
Let me just respond, I'll give you a chance. We've been speaking to Hackensack for quite some time, from January and even after January. We continued talks, just didn't happen, we couldn't come to a deal. So
Well-
there was contract negotiation.
Well, quite frankly, the fact that the contract was up, okay, and the contract was coming to an end, there's been no discussion publicly that, and we used to do that. We used to let people know that the contract's coming to the end and we'll be in negotiations. But quite frankly, everything that comes to this council, there is no discussion on prior to the resolutions that are printed. It is, I don't think, in the best interest of the borough. But that's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to be heard on the 2015 budget? Seeing no one, close the meeting to the public. Is there a motion for the adoption?
Motion to adopt.
For a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Trevino,
Yes?
Eisenberg,
Yes.
Lindenau,
Yes.
Maroni.
Yes.
Be it resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of Maywood, County of Bergen, that the budget herein before set forth is hereby adopted and shall constitute an appropriation for the purposes stated of the sums therein set forth as appropriations, and authorization of the amount of $11,634,737 for municipal purposes and $420,971 for minimum library tax.
Is there a motion to go back into the regular order of business?
Yes. I make a motion.
For a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Eisenberg, thank you very much. Let's see where we are. Work session, is there anything on or off the agenda? Anybody have anything on the agenda? Okay. There are no proclamation presentations. Now, we'll open the meeting to the public. After this. Is there anyone who wishes to be heard? Please.
Well, Mr. Mayor, Henry Perez, 56 West Magnolia Avenue. I just wanted to kind of surface curiosity and just wanted to gauge everyone's feedback on this. But I'm looking at one of your resolutions, number 9215, a resolution ratifying and confirming the purchase and installation of a security video system for the Maywood Public Library. I've started coming to the council meetings as of April 1st, and quite frankly, I haven't heard much around this resolution. So, without anyone specifically intervening, I'd like to gauge each of the council members' feedback as to what they know about this resolution and how it came about.
President, we do not, we go to the chair on this one, so we don't talk to members of the council, don't address the public, but I'll be glad to answer your question if you're finished.
Essentially, what I'd like to know is, how did this come about, and was there any public discussion about it? And were there any other alternatives compared and contrasted to the solution? What type of licensing agreements, what the cost entails, what kind of backup systems would we need in order to support this type of installation? Because we haven't really heard much about it. So I was just curious what the council body knows about this particular resolution.
I'll tell you exactly. This is a purchase by the Hackwell Foundation. They decided that they wanted to, through their foundation and through the money that's left through the Hackwell Foundation, they decided that they wanted to purchase cameras to protect some of the other assets they're putting in there. I don't know if you've been to the library lately, but they're doing a lot of work.
Yeah, I go there quite frequently.
But, well, so what they're doing is they've I think we dealt with this at the last meeting a little bit. Foundation has asked the borough to handle, since it's a borough building, to handle actually dispersing of the money and going out to bid if bid be necessary. But they pay for it in full, and they service it in full, and they take care of it in full.
Okay, so this was money that was essentially donated or funded externally?
What's the correct term? I don't know, donated,
Well, the foundation does underwrite the,
Okay.
additions to the library that they approve.
Sure.
And we did have a theft at the library, and the system that was there was inadequate. So they discussed this. This is not up to the mayor and council. It's the board of trustees of the library that decide this, and then they apply to Hackbarth for the funding. Hackbarth has asked that the money be placed with the borough so that we disperse the funds. And it's just that simple. But there is no discussion here because it's their decision to put that system into the library.
Okay. All right, that's all I have.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Please.
How you doing? My name's Costa Paniota. I'm on 5 Fairway. Last November, when I was cleaning my leaves, I noticed that a borough tree, that the root system was getting messed up, degraded, and I called back in December, and they told me that it was scheduled to get taken down. I called on April 1st. They said it was out for bids. I called on May 12th, and they're telling me that, to be patient, and I do understand that. I don't know if the tree's going to last a day, a month. I have pictures of the damage that you can see how much of it at the root system's down. The tree's leaning, and it's leaning towards my house, and I was really hoping that you guys might be able to expedite it.
What? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What's the address?
5 Fairway?
5 Fairway.
Yeah, like I said, I have pictures of the root.
No,
how it's leaning and stuff.
I'm sure if you were told, you must have spoken to someone at the DPW and not to my office,
Right.
but if it's on the takedown list, they have 2 more days that they're going to be finishing. They have 13 trees left to do.
Okay.
I was just told today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't look tomorrow. If you give me a phone number, I'm happy to call you because I hope
Okay.
it's on that takedown list.
Excellent.
But you don't have to do it on the record.
Thank
You
you.
could come over and...
It's 201, 291, 4090, and the first name's Costa.
K-O or S-O? K-O.
S-T-A.
Now, if you want to wait, I can go down and get my takedown list, because I don't remember every tree that was on, but you were told it was on the takedown list.
This is on the,
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry.
we got a 201.
Is there anyone else wishing to be heard? Yes, sir. Please.
My name is Mark Willick. I reside at 56 Woodland. I have a problem with the sidewalk coming up from a tree that was planted there like 12, 13 years. The baby tree now is taller than the 2-family house, and it's causing problems to the sidewalk and to the walkway with the babies. And then the borough engineer can come and look at it and assess it, and see what's the problem or from the tree.
Back in the room. Let's ask him.
They came in and they told me the tree was healthy.
Oh.
But the tree, I got pictures of.
Sorry, sir, I didn't get your last name.
Willick.
Mr. Willick, when was that tree looked at? And who was it that said that the tree was healthy? Someone, a representative from...
Yeah, Roberto, I think. Roberto Stern.
So you've spoken to him?
Yeah, I've spoken to him.
Okay, and I'm assuming traffic.
What?
I'm assuming the shade tree, the one who looked there.
I believe so. I'm not sure on that.
Find out.
All right. Okay.
Rather than have you stand here and wait, what I'll do is take your seat and then come back up after, okay, sir? Thank you. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Please.
First, I would like to, Don Richards, 347 Gallup Avenue again. I'd like to thank the Borough Clerk for responding to my request, my OPA request for the information on the pool seats. I'm concerned because I didn't see a building permit there. I saw drawings of the wall, but no building permit. Was a building permit issued?
Let's wait till the administrator's back. As you
Okay.
know, we have volunteers, Mr. Richards. We don't send in the building department, and we work that. So,
Believe me, I know. I did it for a great number of years.
on both sides,
I'm sorry?
professional and...
Well, no question about that, thank you. The other thing, last, and I'll wait for her, but you made a comment at the last meeting in a discussion you were having with Councilman Eisenberg with respect to the $900,000 tax appeal that you were left. Did you explain that to me?
Could I explain that to you?
Yeah.
Would you rather hear it from CFO?
No, I'd like to hear it because you were so adamant about, with the comment. I was wondering if you know the history of that tax
I
appeal.
can speak to my last year, my first year on the council.
The question was, do you know the history of it?
I can speak to my first year on the council.
Okay, well then, let me just point out to you that that tax appeal was the result of a discussion with Stepan company, used to be Stepan Chemical. In the 80s, I think probably 1987, the federal government and Stepan came to an agreement on the properties as a settlement, as opposed to finding them to pay for the entire cleanup of the property, which is a Superfund situation. What had happened at the time is Stepan deeded the property to the federal government. Okay, for the next 30-odd years, I guess, 87, 97, 2007, maybe a couple of years after that. Stepan, the tax department, essentially from the administrations at that point, which were of your party, because we didn't have control until the 70s, but it wasn't anyone's fault. It was the fault of Stepan for not picking it up at the time, and quite frankly, probably our tax collector at the time for sending out that, and who wasn't aware, or didn't make herself aware of the fact that that money was owed. The borough came to an agreement. I think it was taxed $900 an acre at the time. They reduced it to $600, if memory serves me correctly. And we only paid them back for 3 years out of 25, 30 years of taxes that they paid. So the bottom line is here that the borough probably made out a whole lot better than we had to pay back. Now, I understand that that agreement was made, but after the new administration came in, had to float a bond to pay for that. But in essence, it really wasn't a Democrat or Republican fault, okay? Just so that if that's an issue that's going to be continued, okay?
I don't think I indicated one way or another the appropriate...
Well, no, you did say the previous administration left us with the thing, but I think...
I was addressing what we had to address when we got here.
Well, I think
did not say the
the tone is the tone, okay?
Well,
It's like when you say to a jury...
You take the tone and you let it take it, sir.
Well, I listen to it, and I'm responding to it. And some things, you can't put the genie back in the bottle, which it made us
Well,
say.
you just said that, tax assessment...
I'm talking to the mayor.
And, you didn't catch it. The tax assessor made a mistake. $900,000 problem.
I didn't blame anyone. I didn't blame
Oh, you
anyone.
just said the tax assessor should have picked it up. Didn't you just say that?
Stepan should have picked it up and laid the money out,
So we
okay?
need to go all over the place, and yet I'm still not indicating whether it was appropriate
Well,
or inappropriate.
once again,
Just that this
the tone of the
administration
conversation was what, I listened to it twice,
Good.
okay? Now, with respect to I asked for the documents, once again, I thank the borough clerk, but I didn't see a building permit in that issue. Was there a building permit issued? Why not?
Because the wall is less than 3 feet, it's a bench. There was no reason to get a building
I
permit.
saw the drawings, and the drawings had a footing. The drawings had footings.
Footings are existing.
I know, footings. Wouldn't you want your building inspector to check the footings out?
As I said, this is under 3 feet,
Well,
and there was no reason for Jim, didn't feel that there was any reason for him to do anything.
Jim didn't feel, okay.
He's the
So I can
construction
ask Jim
official.
to-
Sure.
Okay. Now, the other thing, the wall at the park,
Mr. Richards, I don't want to interrupt you, but you're at your 5-minute limit, and...
You are being interrupted, that's right. So, thank you, sir, for your time.
well, can I deduct the time that the mayor spoke back to me?
No.
So nice of you.
Yes,
Good
sir.
night. Hopefully voices.
Anyone else from the public? Yes, ma'am. Oh, ma'am, I'm sorry, hold on, please, I'm sorry, Mr. Wilhelm. If I could just stall you for 1 second,
Yes, of course.
because I promised Mr. Wilhelm, come back up. Good, sorry. Roberta, Mr. Wilhelm has a question
Sure.
about...
My sidewalk has come up. Right now, when people are walking by, it's hazardous.
What's your address?
56 Woodland. That tree eventually it's gonna come down. I mean, it's healthy, it's healthy. The way it is on the sidewalk,
Well, there's two things. One, we'll take a look at the tree, and two, if we have to, we'll add this to the sidewalk list.
Yeah, I think, are you saying that the tree, okay, so what we're talking about is, you said that someone from the borough came and looked at it.
they said it was healthy.
They said it was healthy.
Okay.
That, like Roberta said, there's two issues. There's the sidewalk and then
Right.
whether the tree has to come down or not. So we're looking for both of those things.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
waiting.
thank you.
Anyone else wishing to be heard? Please.
Hildegard Amsler, residing at 65 Edgewood Place. In April, riding back to Maywood with a neighbor, we were heading west on East Passaic, and we almost saw one of the seniors get hit by a car crossing from the north side to the south side on Passaic by Gulf. And the next day I stopped by and let the police know about my concern, because when I realized why the car hadn't stopped because the pedestrian crosswalk markings were practically invisible. So unless you really knew that there once was a marking, you wouldn't be aware of it, okay? When I came to pay my tax bill in May, I asked, how come nothing has happened? Now, I realize it's difficult to paint on streets that have live traffic. I understand that. But, the officer said, that's not a police thing. You should have spoken to the borough administrator. And I called you, and I trust it's being addressed.
Yes, it is. It's on the
Okay, we're almost in June now.
It's on the DPW list, and I passed by, and it is very faint, but it's going to be fixed.
Yeah, it's like invisible, and golf also, the
It's there. I
GOL.
mean, there's no...
True.
We don't have one of those signs, the state signs, and that would be a police matter, not mine. But the crosswalk itself to be marked is on a list for the DPW.
Okay. This raised a couple of questions to me. I'm going to present them as questions I don't expect you to answer, but I'm hoping that you'll think about it and maybe do something about it. Why didn't something go from the police to you, since that was obviously where it should have gone? No, I'm just saying, why such a disconnect? Because it's not for us residents to know who's on first and what's on second, okay? So I got it wrong. I mean, And then also, clearly speaking with you, it was clear to me that there is no maintenance program for something like this. I mean, I read in the papers the swimming pool, the parks, the this, the that, but clearly no thought was given to, and I have to wonder how many other pedestrian crossings are there in town that I don't go down every street. Our police do, I trust, and our DPW does. And where is there some sort of
That's
something?
one of the pieces of equipment that's in the bond ordinance that we just picked. We're hoping to get a new piece of equipment that will facilitate and improve our maintenance of those crosswalks.
There's like a striping marking
Yes, that's one
machine
of
or
the
something?
items that's on the bond ordinance that was passed by this council.
It seems somehow that, especially given the demographic down at that particular
Right.
location, I mean, that's really pretty grim. Okay, and this winter, which, oh my God, what a winter, but our DPW did an awesome job keeping the roads open. But if you were a pedestrian, you were in serious trouble. Yeah, I didn't dare walk anywhere this winter because every corner was barricaded with, okay? And that brings me back to the relocation of that bus stop, because when I objected to that relocation, South Elm to down past Elizabeth, much was made of the fact, what's 300 feet? Good exercise, somebody told me. No, we didn't elect you to tell us
I don't know that anybody in
to
the council-
exercise.
I don't know that anybody in the council said that. Was that...
Well, I'm not going to elaborate on it, but okay?
I-
For another,
I
for
don't-
another day,
All right.
for another day.
I never told you.
But those 300 feet, I tried taking photographs, and I couldn't even, I was not going to risk my life to take a whole bunch of them, because it was literally ice, I mean, a disaster. No one should have been forced to walk those 300 feet, okay? Because the riders come from either South Elm or the majority from the north of Elm.
You know that for a fact, ma'am?
Yes, because I use that bus. I haven't used it in a long time right now, but yes, I do know that.
It's always been my impression that when
Okay.
something moves,
Nobody,
it's moving closer somewhere.
nobody out of Elizabeth Court uses that bus. Those are business driveways with business commercial, I don't know what they're called. They're not trucks, they're like panel trucks or something, but they're big. They're bigger than your SUVs, and it's all right-hand turns, and you're putting the riders at risk by forcing them to walk down to that. Even in good weather, there's a risk, okay? I brought in maps that time. Clearly, nobody paid any attention to them.
That's not true. That's not
No?
fair.
Well,
We-
this
we
bus stop-
understand- We understand your position. You made it last time. You stated it when you were here before. Our position is that it was a request by New Jersey Transit.
It was
Also-
not. It was not.
Yeah.
I have looked into the history of this.
Ma'am, I don't want to interrupt you either, but you're also up against the 5-minute. There's other people in here.
You're counting her time.
Ma'am, you're at 5 minutes.
All right, I'll be here again. I will return again. I'm going to leave my card with my phone number. I'm hoping I will hear from some of you that I can show you exactly what the issue is. Issues,
Thank you,
plural.
ma'am.
What are you...
Okay.
I'm sorry. What are you asking?
I'm
You're getting your card for
that you
what
all
purpose?
take a look at what the reality of the
I
issue
went
is.
there.
This did not come
That-
from New Jersey Transit,
Yeah,
okay?
it did, and it
Yeah,
was also...
I've spoken with the county, I've spoken with the New
Ma'am,
Jersey
you're
Transit
making
guy, who was actually...
you're making
here
assertions that are
concerned.
not necessarily factually true, and I can't allow you to
Well,
do
why
that.
would these people have lied to me?
I don't know that anybody's lying. Maybe you're getting your signals.
I don't think you're
don't
speaking, I
know.
don't think you're speaking to the right people, is what's the problem. But either way, ma'am, you're up
I
after
spoke
your
to
5
the gentleman
minutes.
who met with Ms. Stern
Ma'am,
on South...
if you'd like to have, see what I can speak to you after the meeting, if you'd like.
All right, another day.
That's fair.
I'll leave my phone number here, hopefully somebody will follow up
Thank
with
you,
me. I'd like to
Thank you very
actually
much.
show what the issues are.
We've been there. Thank you very much.
I don't think you have it. 'cause
Well,
then-
we actually have. And we've
Well, then
seen-
you have
I've
your
been there.
copy.
I've been there as a member of the fire police, and I've seen trucks come down there, and I've seen buses come down there and almost get into accidents because where it was on Gulf. I've been there as a member of the fire police,
Oh, that's
and I've been there,
right, Gulf.
and I've been there in the area where we moved the bus stop from. And I've been there, we moved it up, down, sorry, and I've also been there as a member of the fire department and almost got run over. So it's a dangerous situation where you had it before, two buses converge. So what they asked us to do was move it further down so those buses don't converge and you don't have people coming around buses where they always do these days. Rather than stay in that lane, they go in the other lane. And now you have someone coming in the other lane with the bus coming head on. Because those buses lined up directly, the stops lined up directly next to each other.
The other stop is on the other side.
I know that, yes, but they are directly across each other. Ma'am,
They're not
please-
directly
please
across
bring
from
this-
each other.
Not any longer. Please bring this to the attention of, please discuss
To whose
this with
attention?
Roberta. Discuss it
Okay.
with Roberta at another time. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Seeing no one else, we will close the meeting to the public. Ordinance. Yes, there we go. Ordinance 515.
315.
I got it.
Ordinance 315, an ordinance amending the Borough of Maywood Municipal Code so as to revise Chapter 169 of the Maywood Code governing the fee schedule for police fees and land use fees for the Borough of Maywood. Ordinance 515, an ordinance amending Chapter 25 of the Code of the Borough of Maywood in Section 25-5 respecting qualifications and Section 2552 regarding eligibility for membership in the Maywood Fire Department.
Okay, I'm opening the meeting to the public with respect to these ordinances only. Is there anyone from the public wishing to be heard with respect to these ordinances? Seeing no one, close the meeting to the public. Is there a motion for the adoption? Motion to adopt. Second? Second. Roll call.
Trevino?
Yes.
Eisenberg? Lindenau?
Yes.
Maroni?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood that ordinance 315 and 515 be and they are passed upon second and final reading. The Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to advertise the same according to law.
minutes. Is there a motion for the approval of minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Trevino?
Yes?
Lindenau?
Yes.
Maroni?
Yes.
Presentation of bills and claims and request for public comment. Is there a motion for the approval?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Trevino?
Yes?
Lindenau?
Yes.
Maroni?
Yes.
Report of the Borough Clerk.
Well, next Tuesday is primary election day, and the polls will be open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll notice in your agenda there were some changes only to the bill list. There's just a correction. There's nothing removed, nothing added, just changed around. That's about it.
Report of the Administrator.
Mayor, the only thing I have this evening, as everyone knows, this past weekend was the opening of the pool. I was there 2 of the 3 days. Turnout was a little bit light. I think Saturday and Sunday the weather wasn't that conducive to pool going, but yesterday we had a nice crowd. And, excuse me, a lot of compliments on the work that was done, and how nice everything looked for the opening. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Clerk. Excellent, gentlemen. Borough Attorney.
Mr. Mayor, I have no report to give this evening.
Thanks. Committee reports. Mr. Gervino.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On May 20th, I attended the Library Board of Trustees meeting. I'd like to announce that they hired a new director for the Maywood Public Library. Her name is Caitlin Hull, and she'll be starting on June 8th. And also, the architect has been in and submitted the drawings for the new windows, which are being manufactured. Once that's complete, the windows will be installed. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lindenau.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Green Team / Community Garden News. We had our kickoff of the season with the planting beds, and I'd like to put a big thank you out to resident Bill Grunstra for all his help. He was there the whole time, working with Councilman Gervino and Mayor Fabre, building some new beds, the pergola. I came by for a little bit to share in the finishing touches, I guess you could say, on the pergola. And it looks really nice. There's still a little more work to be done, but a bunch of the groups that had beds came and did some plantings, and it was a very nice but warm day that day. So that's all I have, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Maroni.
Nothing to report this evening.
Thank you. Let's see. I have one issue that came up recently. I spoke with the administrator and the DPW superintendent. It seems as if, and it's a safety issue, it seems as if some residents, very few of them, but some residents are using the recyclable grass bags to sneak garbage that they would not otherwise be able to get into our garbage. They would have to take it to be recycled or whatever. They're putting paint cans in there, other things like that. And just recently it was used oil, cooking oil. And what happened is when the DPW guys put this in the truck, they packed these things so you could fit more in there. And one of the cans of oil exploded, and it got on some of the DPW workers in their eyes. Now, had that gotten bitten with gasoline or something to that effect, you could blind somebody. So, what I would ask, I would plead with the residents of this town that maybe do not realize that there's a safety issue. Please do not use those bags for anything but grass clippings and leaves. There are avenues, and we have them all the time. You can call the borough, the recreation department, speak with Lisa Shealy, the building department, and she will tell you how to get rid of those items. We have different days for recycling. The BCUA takes in a lot of this stuff. We bring it over there. It's in Little Ferry. Anything is better than injuring somebody just because someone didn't want to get that, have to go somewhere to get rid of it. So please, I would ask that get into the out-of-town bag.
And it's on the back of their recycling.
Yes, it's on the back, obviously it's on the back of the recycling schedules, and I can't, I would ask everybody to read that, but just in case, and I don't think this was done maliciously, just this is public education and a public safety issue, so if you can get that out there, I really appreciate it. Moving on to happier things. Once again, we have delivered on our promise to stabilize your taxes. Just as we did last year and the year before, and the year before that, we have entered uncharted territory in Maywood. This year, the borough will see perhaps its first ever municipal tax reduction, while ending the year 2014 with an unprecedented surplus of over $2.2 million. This year, we have reduced your municipal taxes to the tune of 1.5%. That's 1.5% less than the residents of Maywood were paying last year. That means the average homeowner with a home valued at $317,485 will be keeping $44 in their pockets this year. As I stated last month, we accomplished this using a multi-pronged approach to budgeting. First, we implemented smart hiring practices, putting people into leadership positions throughout the borough, with the only requirement being that they are qualified to do the job. Next, we recognize that sharing services that are beneficial to the parties involved are the only way small towns like Maywood can remain affordable for young people just starting out, established families, and seniors to enjoy their well-deserved golden years. And then, with the cooperation and partnership of our police department and DPW, we negotiated contracts that will save Maywood residents upwards of $450,000 in healthcare costs annually. In conjunction with the aforementioned, this administration, acting on the advice and guidance of our CFO, auditor, and borough administrator, adopted sound financial policies and practices that have paid off over the last 4 years and will continue to pay off for the foreseeable future. Policies like the unanimously adopted Resolution 21-15, which requires the governing body to maintain an accounting and fiscal policy which comply with the requirements of the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs, Division of Local Government, which establishes, among other things, a fund balance target and a regeneration policy. In short, we've set a target amount to keep as surplus every year, and this year we are right in line with that amount, which is one of the reasons that we have such a good bond rating. I'll go into that at another meeting. While it might sound like a broken record over the past several years, but quite frankly, doing the right thing by residents of this borough and keeping promises never gets old. I'd much rather acknowledge what we have accomplished as opposed to failing at our jobs and having to make excuses year after year as to why your taxes went up. So the entire governing body, along with the borough professionals, should be extremely proud of the job they've done this year on this year's budget and all the years leading up to this point. And to the residents of Maywood, you have our pledge that we will continue to work to make Maywood a better place to live each and every year. Thank you. We have no resignations. Appointments approval. Number one, Nina Durso as a member of the Green Team effective May 26, 2015. 2, Gord Krasik as a summer employee for the Department of Public Works at a salary of $9 per hour effective May 26, 2015. Number 3, Stephen Graff as a part-time lifeguard for the Maywood Swim Pool at a salary of $8.25 per hour, subject to the completion of all requirements set forth by the borough. Is there a motion for the appointments?
Move to approve.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Medina?
Yes.
Lindenau?
Yes.
Maroni?
Yes.
Council approves the following. For the Adler Aphasia Center, request permission to place 2 outdoor signs on the corners of Maywood Avenue and Essex Street and Maywood Avenue and Passaic Street for the month of June in recognition of National Aphasia Awareness Month. Is there a motion for the approval?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Trevino?
Yes.
Lindenau?
Yes.
Maroni?
Yes.
Resolutions by title.
Resolution 8715, resolution authorizing advertisements for the public receipt of bids for collection of solid waste and solid waste disposal. Resolution 8815, transfer of liquor license on a person-to-person, place-to-place basis from JHCC Enterprise Incorporated to Joseph J. Brunetti. Resolution 8915, a resolution authorizing the renewal of the employee prescription benefit coverage plan with Volunteer Specialty Group effective March 1st, 2015. Resolution 9015, a resolution ratifying and confirming the purchase of ADA-compliant water drinking fountains to be placed in various areas throughout the borough of Maywood. Resolution 9115, resolution requesting approval of items of revenue and appropriations in accordance to NJSA 48:4-87. Resolution 9215, resolution ratifying and confirming the purchase and installation of secure video system for the new public library.
Is there a motion for the approval?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Trevino?
Yes.
Lindenau?
Yes.
Maroni?
Yes.
All right, we have no new ordinance. Is there any new business? Any old business?